2017 has been an amazing year for video games. You got titles like Horizon Zero Dawn, Yakuza 0, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and so on. I've been saving money for a GTX 1070, so I haven't been able to play a lot of new games this year, but as soon as I got it, I got Nier Automata, and I think that might have set the bar a little too high for the other games this year. Nier Automata tells the story of mankind's last stand against the machines that have taken over the Earth. It follows androids 2B and 9S as they try to find a way to bring the planet back to humanity. I'm gonna be blunt, this is hands down the best linear story I've ever played in a video game. The main story is phenomenal, but the real meat is in its philosophical undertones. The game tackles the meaning of life and existence and what it means to be human. And it doesn't bring it up half-heartedly, it delves deep into it, to the point where you yourself will start thinking about it as well. This isn't just in the main quests either, it's also apparent in the side quests. The side quests of Nier Automata are memorable, and almost all of them have a worthwhile story to tell. From a bunch of machines putting together a parade of love, to trying to find a Resistance member's lost memories. Most, if not all, of the side quests are going to stick with you. Story isn't the only great thing Automata has going for it though. Don't forget, the game was developed by Platinum Games, famous for titles such as Bayonetta, Vanquish, and Metal Gear Rising. The hack and slash gameplay, like in all of their games, is great. However, the game constantly changes its gameplay. Hack and slash, 3D and 2D twin stick shooters, shoot 'em ups, and even a platformer at times are all the genres Automata attempts, and almost all of them are perfected. I'd say the one that doesn't stay satisfying is the 2D twin stick shooting, but depending on your setup, it's completely optional. There are also chips that you can find or buy and then use them as skills. There's also an abundance of weapons to use, and all of them are upgradable. So there are light RPG elements in the game as well. The gameplay is amazing, and it really only gets better as you progress through the game. Now I want to talk about the soundtrack. This is by far the best soundtrack I've heard in a video game. Not for the tracks themselves, but the way they're presented. Most, if not all, the tracks have three variants: a quiet version, a vocal version, and a dynamic version. The way the tracks are presented make moments and sequences in the game hit hard and stay memorable. I think Skill Up did a better job at explaining this than me, so I'm just gonna play the clip of him explaining this.
The English language is missing a word to describe the perfect fusion of sound and visuals. A word that succinctly says that yes, this sound belongs with this image. If such a word existed, it would apply to every moment of Nier Automata. Sadly, no such word exists at this time. But as I searched for this word that didn't exist, I was reminded of another word, synesthesia, which is defined as the production of a sense impression relating to one sense or part of the body by stimulation of another sense or part of the body. Looking back on Nier, I realized that this is absolutely the perfect word to describe its effect on you as you play it, as so much of the simultaneous stimulation across all of your senses is guided by the incredible score. Nier's soundtrack is, in my view, the best video game soundtrack in the history of video games. Better than Shadow of the Colossus, better than Journey, better than Hotline Miami, better than Doom or Chrono Trigger or Cross or Persona 4, and yes, even better than Tony Hawk 2. It is simply the most inspired music selection ever to grace a video game.
The open world, while not huge, is varied and offers a lot of different landscapes. You got your desolate city, your desert, your forest, and even an amusement park. This isn't the best open world I've ever played in, but it suits the story's post-apocalyptic setting, and it's not bad. But one thing that might annoy some people is that fast travel is something you have to unlock, rather than being there from the get-go. But luckily, it is a feature, you just have to advance the story enough. On the PC side of things, the port is bad. I tried playing it on my 970 on medium, and was regularly dipping into the mid-40s in terms of frame rate. That and ambient occlusion can make pop-in annoying and very obvious, but it's able to be turned off and forgotten about. However, once I got my 1070, I was able to run the game on the high preset with the game never dropping below 60 frames per second, minus the occasional stutter and dropped frame. One last thing regarding the port is without any enhancements, the game in full screen mode is locked to a maximum of 900p. I recommend using borderless gaming for this, as it will fix the issue the fastest and it could be used on other games. So unless you have a pretty great PC, I'd say it's best to buy the PS4 version if you can. Nier Automata is a masterpiece, an absolute gem. It excels in every aspect a video game can. An excellent story, very unique and engaging gameplay, great visuals at 60 frames per second, and the best soundtrack I've ever heard in a video game. Nier Automata is a game that will have you thinking and feeling things no other game will.